Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm gonna be making a video on some Scream 6 theories. In my last video, I had talked about the Easter eggs that were in the Scream 6 teaser trailer, and then when the teaser trailer actually dropped on that day, I had released my reaction to it. But now I'm gonna be doing some theories about the teaser trailer, on Mindy and like what's going on with her character in this teaser trailer, and what are the outcomes that are gonna happen with this scene with her in the subway. The poster for Scream 6, because I never got to talk about that, and also talking about that picture of Ghostface with the old worn out mask. I'm gonna be talking about all that and giving theories and stuff. So this is going to be an interesting video. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to dive right into it. So, Mindy here in this scene, we were like, I've been curious, whenever I first saw this teaser trailer, I was questioning, like, is Mindy actually with the rest of the group in this scene? Because it's weird how we always, like, we in this scene, we see here, like, everyone dressed in costumes, but we also see in this frame with Tara, Chad, and Sam. But then Mindy, when they would show her in the teaser trailer, she was always shown in like a separate shot, which made me think that she's not actually in that scene with the rest of the group, and Mindy's probably on a separate subway train. And I think what happens is that Mindy probably ends up getting caught behind somehow, or she gets lost and she ends up going on the wrong train, or maybe she just had no time to get on the train that the rest of the group were on, that Chad, Sam, and Tara were on, so she just got on a different one. And it's either one of those, I feel like, in my opinion. And I think what ends up happening is she ends up going on here by herself, and Mindy ends up seeing these Ghostface killers, or these Halloween goers dressed up in Ghostface costumes because it's Halloween. Maybe the one of them ends up attacking her, and because there's fans who are theorizing, saying that, oh, like, what if she dies here in this scene where Ghostface attacks her? Does she die? Does she get killed and whatnot? Me personally, I don't think she dies. I don't think she's gonna get killed. Actually, I think, if anything, in my opinion, it's just a fake out, and they're trying to get like a shock reaction out of us, like, oh my gosh, like, is Mindy gonna die or is she not gonna die? I feel like that's kind of what it is. I feel like, I don't think she's gonna die. I feel like what's gonna happen is she either is gonna get attacked by a prankster. It's just some prankster who's wearing the Ghostface costume for Halloween and wanted to scare her and whatnot, or she does actually get attacked by the real Ghostface killer, but she makes it out alive and she escapes. I feel like either one of those is probably the case. I've heard some fans theorize and say that, what if Mindy's just hallucinating, or she's having some type of, like, she's just like envisioning stuff in her head. Like, I've heard that theory too. I don't know about that, because, like, it doesn't really look like it's all in Mindy's head. At least in my opinion, it doesn't. It looks like it's actually happening in real time, and it actually looks real. So I don't think Mindy was envisioning that stuff or hallucinating or whatever. Like, I actually think it's real. And, like I said, she probably just ends up getting attacked and somehow makes it out alive. And we also, if you look closely on the window of the subway train, you can see broken glass and like red blood on it. Now, I don't think it's from Mindy necessarily, because it doesn't even look like Ghostface has a knife either. So I don't think Ghostface, you know, he it doesn't look like he has a knife or any sort of weapon. It looks like he just has, his bare hands with the gloves. Which, in fact, I'm gonna point out the glove thing real quick, because this Ghostface, like I said, who attacks Mindy right here at the end, you can see he has gloves. But then in this picture over here of this Ghostface in this picture, um, they have no gloves on, just the mask and the costume. So it's very. I feel like they're gonna play on this even more than what Scream 2 did, because if Scream 2 in the opening scene, they had like the whole stab movie playing in the movie theater, and like everyone thought like Maureen Evans was like, she was just like, they were just like faking what was going on, and whenever she was getting stabbed, like it was some prank, or they just, a lot of the crowd in the movie theater just didn't notice it in general, and she just got murdered in front of everyone. And with Scream 6, I feel like they're gonna play on that even more, especially because it's New York City, and it's, the average New Yorkers, and with it being set on Halloween, they're definitely gonna play on this stuff even more, because we're gonna be seeing literally lots of Halloween goers in Ghostface costumes for Halloween, and we're not gonna be able to tell who's the real killer or not. And I know for a fact that there's gonna be a lot of New Yorkers, in the city, thinking at times in the movie that, this girl or this guy is being attacked. It must be a prank because it's Halloween or something. Or either that, or they're just not going to care, because New Yorkers, they typically don't really care and just always mind their own business. So I definitely think that, especially because of what Melissa Barrera said too, about how New York is like a place where everyone there is, a lot of, like, almost everyone there is just like, they always just mind their own business, and something terrible can be happening and they won't even bother to help or even care, or they'll just think it's a prank or something, like. And that's scary, and it's true, and it's real. And I feel like Scream 6 is gonna play on stuff like that. And what I feel like, not just with this scene with Mindy, because, like, who knows, maybe Mindy gets attacked, and the New Yorkers on the train, they probably think like, oh yeah, this is just a prank or something, like this is just a prank. It's just some guy in the costume, in the Ghostface costume, just trying to, they're just playing around or something, or it's not real. Either that, or the New Yorkers on the train, they won't even care. They'll just be like, yeah, it's not my business. I don't care. Like, I feel like they're really gonna play on stuff like that. They really are. It's the perfect. It's just they really did pick the perfect setting and season to play on stuff like that in general. Because like I said, with it being set in a big city like New York, Ghostface could be anyone. Especially if it's on Halloween too. Ghostface could be anywhere, anyone, at any time, any place. He could blend in with the crowd. He can kill openly and publicly, and some of the New Yorkers would just think that, oh yeah, it's fake, and it's just a prank, or a lot of the New Yorkers will just simply won't care and will be like, yeah, this is not my business. I'm not gonna help, and they'll just walk on by and go on with their day. Like, that's scary, and I feel like Scream 6 is really gonna play on stuff like that. And I feel like that's what they're gonna kind of show with Mindy here. Is that I do think she makes it out alive. Like I said, I don't think she dies in this scene, but I do think that she's definitely gonna get attacked. And I don't think Mindy This is because, like I said, if you look on the window, there's blood on it, and the glass is broken as well. If you can see in the back, and I don't, like I said, I don't think it's because Ghostface slammed her head super hard and she started bleeding, and that's how, and the glass broke and whatnot. I think what's possible is that Ghostface probably killed some innocent bystanders outside of the subway train, and he literally just killed some of them. Maybe he pushed someone in front of the subway train and their head just bashed into the window and they started bleeding and they got crushed by the subway train, and that's how they got killed. Like that's also possible, which that would be a crazy kill in general. And I know Killjoy Jake would love that type of kill because he's been talking about wanting a subway kill for the longest time in general. And I would love that kind of kill too. But it's because it's definitely possible. Like Ghostface could have, he could have just pushed someone in front of the subway train and they freaking got smushed and crushed by the train, and their head bashed into the window, and that's why there's blood on it and it's kind of broken. Like, man, and just in general, bro, that would be a crazy kill. And like, yeah, Ghostface, I feel like he's gonna be killing innocent bystanders outside of the subway, and just in general in New York, he's gonna be killing openly, just in the open, and he's gonna be in public just killing everyone. Because there's fans. I've seen some fans on the internet try to be like, oh yeah, well, how is this movie gonna work? Like Ghostface is in New York, like this is a big city. Like no way he's gonna get away with anything. Like this doesn't make any sense. But like I said, they're playing on the fact that it's Halloween and on the fact that New Yorkers typically mind their own business, or they think stuff is a prank. So therefore, Ghostface can technically get away with all of the stuff because of that. He can kill someone in the open, and these New Yorkers and random bystanders will probably be like, this is just a prank, or some of them will probably be like, this is not my business. I'm not gonna help. Kind of like that bystander effect. Of like, like they'll probably be shocked and not want to help because they'll probably think someone else is gonna help, and they'll just be like, it's not my business. And then in the end, no one ends up helping. Like it works. It really does. So I feel like they really are gonna play on that. So yeah, Ghostface technically could get away with stuff in New York, and I definitely think he's gonna be killing more in the open and get away with stuff easily now. And it's gonna be harder for the police to track him. And the FBI is definitely getting involved. Because Kirby is allegedly rumored to be an FBI agent too. So yeah, I mean, I think definitely they're definitely gonna play on all that stuff. But yeah, I think the whole blood on the glass window, you could even see it here whenever the lights turn off in the teaser trailer. You can see, when the lights turn on, and then when they turn off, you can even still see the broken glass in the background, and the red, there's like a red light, and there's kind of like red little like you can literally see the red light and the red blood still on the glass window. So I definitely think it's possible that Ghostface pushed someone in front of the subway train and they got killed. I definitely think that's possible. Like I don't really think that Ghostface just like slammed Mindy's head in front of the in on the subway train window, and that's how it broke and there's blood and whatnot. Like I don't think that's what happened. Yeah, I don't think that's what happened, but it is possible, but I don't really think so, because the because you could even see it even before the lights turned back on and Ghostface attacks her. The blood and the broken glass was already there. So that's kind of what makes me think that it wasn't because of Ghostface doing it, and slamming her head on it. Because, in this picture here, you can see the broken glass and the red on the window even before Ghostface comes and attacks her. So, yeah, I think it's possible Ghostface probably killed someone outside the train. And he might, kill some um some innocent folks on the train too. Ghostface might be going ham everywhere, killing in the open, and no one will bat an eye or even care. Because, like I said, they're playing on the whole New York thing and big city thing, and how New Yorkers just mind their own business or they don't care. So, yeah, it's scary. I feel like Ghostface and just the setting for this Scream movie is probably gonna be the most unique and best and scariest that we've ever seen. And yeah, like I definitely think Mindy does make it out alive though, and she makes it out alive, and she escapes somehow, and but everyone probably doesn't help her because, like I said, they're probably just gonna assume it's a prank or they're gonna assume that there's like they're either gonna assume it's a prank or some of them just won't care to even bother to help. Like that. I think that's what happens here. But she somehow makes it out alive still, and she runs away. She leaves the train. She meets up back with the other group with Sam, Tara, and Chad, and they reunite outside the subway again. And I think that's what happens. At least that's what I'm theorizing at. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's crazy. But yeah, like let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Mindy dies because of this teaser trailer with us seeing her get attacked and stuff? Like do you think she ends up dying here or no? Let me know what you guys think, because I don't think she dies. Like I don't think so. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. But yeah, now I'm gonna be talking about hold on, the Scream 6 poster, because I kind of forgot to talk about it, but the Scream 6 poster is good as well. I had seen Universal Horror's version of it, and he had even showed it himself on his Twitter. Universal Horror like posted a picture where it was like comparing the leaked version that he had originally posted of the poster for Scream 6, and then showing the real one, which is this one right here. So he wasn't that far off with this picture, but I remember just saying like when Universal Horror had posted the Scream 6 poster, I remember in my video I was questioning like I don't know if I believe it, like is this actually real or not? But it seems like it is, or at least the one that we're getting. I mean, I guess he was somewhat accurate with how it looked, but not exactly. But Ghostface was definitely on the subway train, and his face is peering through the broken glass with the knife, and it's just a cool poster. I really do like it. I love it. I'm sure there's gonna be more posters for Scream 6 with Ghostface, and hopefully we end up getting the posters with the characters as well, because with every Scream movie they always have like they always have like posters with Ghostface, and then they have the posters with like the characters as well. So hopefully they release the Scream 6 poster with all the characters as well, because I want to see how that looks like. And but this is a good poster with Ghostface. I really do like it. But if you notice too that here in this, and even in this poster, Ghostface with the old worn out mask, You can see him with the old worn out mask in this shotgun picture. You can see him with this old worn out mask in the beginning of the teaser trailer. You can see him with the old worn out mask in this picture. What's going on here? What's going on here with this this whole mask and stuff? Like, is it significant to anything? Is it leading up to anything? Because radio silence, or I think, yeah, it was radio silence. Tyler Gillette, he had said in an article that I had released like a few days ago that this mask that we're seeing with the old worn out mask is actually going to play a big role into Scream 6 and into the story. Is going to be playing like a big part of the movie. And we're all questioning, what exactly is it playing a big part of? What does Tyler Gillette mean by that? And I haven't, like, I'm so glad I'm getting to talk about all these things, because I've been wanting to talk about these things for the longest time now, and I'm so glad I finally got the time to do it. It's been 4 days since the teaser trailer released, and I've seen so many other YouTubers that I watch make their videos, and I never got time to make mine. And I'm just over here thinking, like, man, I just want to make my video, but every time I would end up trying to do it, I would lose time, and or I would have to do something else. So I'm glad I finally get to do this video. But yeah, I think Ghostface, what happens is that he's gonna end up because they're saying themselves, the old worn out mask was originally, because the old worn out mask was first seen in this picture with Ghostface with the shotgun. It was first seen in this picture. And now we're seeing it. And now we're seeing it with other in the teaser trailer too. And now we even got it for a separate picture. So they're saying that it's part of Scream 6. It's going to play a big part of the movie, and they didn't just put this old worn out mask in the movie just for the hell of it. So what big part is this mask going to play into Scream 6? Now I already know the big theory that's going out there right now is that, oh, it's Stu wearing the mask, and it's his mask, and he's the one wearing it, and he's going around killing everyone and whatnot. I've already made a whole video on why I don't want Stu back and why I don't think it makes sense. So I don't buy that theory at all, or I'm not really into it at all. But I do think what's possible here is that because like I said, there's most likely going to be like at least 3 or 4 killers. Let's just say there's 4 killers, right? And then we saw this picture right here with everyone at the theater/museum and looking at something. And when we first got this picture, we didn't really know the context of it. We were like, oh, like, what is it? Like, what's the context of this picture? What's going on here? But then we found out it was the group looking at all the little little portraits of the Ghostface costumes and mask, and they were witnessing the mask being stolen, or they were looking at the mask that had gotten stolen from the museum, and that's why they all have this shocked look on their face. And that's what we ended up finding out. Then, like a few days later, I remember we had gotten this picture with Ghostface with a shotgun, and he's wearing the old worn out mask. And then we all connected the dots here that one of the newer killers in this movie steals the mask from the museum, and this is one of them, and that's why the mask is all old and worn out. And they're saying it plays a big part of Scream 6, and that's why it's being promoted in the teaser trailer as well, so heavily. and even in the poster. And I think, like I said, I think there's probably gonna be let's just say there's four killers, right? They go, they steal the mask from the museum. One of them ends up stealing this old worn out mask. Now, keep in mind, this could be any, because viewer Anon had originally posted this information, and he had said that the old worn, the all the masks that get stolen from this museum are from previous killers in this franchise. So all the previous killers in this franchise, they all have their mask in this museum, and they get stolen. And let's just say there's four killers, they steal all those masks, and one of them is this old worn out mask that we see in this picture with Ghostface with the shotgun. It would all make sense when you think and look back at it, but it also makes sense that this could be any previous killer's mask from this franchise. Because people, like fans are trying to like already jump to say it's Stu's mask and whatnot, but this could literally be like this mask, this mask right here that we're seeing, this old worn out mask, that we're seeing in all these pictures and in the teaser trailer, could literally be any previous killer's mask. It doesn't just have to be Stu's. It could literally be anybody's. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not on the whole Stu theory thing, but just in general, I'm just, this could literally be any previous killer's mask. It could be Billy's, it could be Mickey's, it could be Mrs. Loomis, it could be Roman's, it could be Jill's, Charlie's, maybe not Richie and Amber's, because I would assume their mask would not be that old and worn out yet, because it hasn't even been that long. So their mask wouldn't technically be this old and worn out, but it could literally be anyone else's mask, mask from the previous killers in this franchise. It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific one like Stu or Billy, whatever. It could literally be anyone. So therefore, this could be freaking Mickey's mask for all we know. And, one of the newer killers in this movie, they steal this mask from the museum and they go on their killing spree and start killing everyone. And, that's probably the case here. That's probably the possibility here that's going on. And I think that it makes sense. So there's going to be a little group, like four killers, and, they go steal these masks from the museum and they go on their killing spree. And who knows, maybe they're not even Stab fans. Maybe they're just fans of the real life murders and killers in general. They're fans of these previous killers in this franchise, and and what they have done. And they're obsessed with the murderers and the killers, and they want to be just like them. So that's why they go to the museum and steal their masks, so that way they can use them on their killing spree. I feel like that's definitely a possibility. And I think, like, just in general, I think that it literally could, because I'm assuming this is a newer killer, right? This is a newer killer, and he steals this mask, this old worn out mask, and he's wearing it on the killing sprees and whatnot, blah blah blah. And like I said, fans are trying to say they're immediately trying to jump the gun and say it's Stu, but they're trying to say that it's his mask and he's the one wearing it here, and especially because they're also trying to say like, oh yeah, it's because Stu, because this killer looks big and tall, and he has like a body build to him, and and whatnot. But I seriously don't understand though, because like I don't really know why body build and height really even is a factor that fans consider liable anymore, because like we know at this point that the Ghostface killers are always played by a stuntman. Therefore, the height and the whole body build thing is kind of irrelevant, to be honest. Um, like it doesn't really matter. Like it's always played by a stuntman. Like literally, the stuntman doesn't always match the killers in this franchise or the height. Um, Whether if they were a guy killer or a female killer, the stuntman, half the time was like either like the stuntman in this that would play Ghostface in this in the franchise, he would have either almost the same height as a lot of the killers, but he would have a different body build than a lot of the killers in this franchise. The stuntman would have a, I feel like he had like a more different body build compared to a lot of the killers in this franchise. Maybe almost around the same height. Like maybe, like Billy and Stu, for example, were like close. They were like almost the same height or exactly the same height as the stuntman, but they had a different body build than the stuntman who was portraying Ghostface. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. So, the stuntman doesn't exactly, is not exactly accurately, pointing, really to anything of who can be the killer or whatnot. It could literally be anyone. So that's kind of my thing there, and just in general, like, like I've said it many times too. Like, I'm not against. I don't have a problem with anyone who wants Stu back, or anyone who is for him coming back and whatever, all that stuff. Like, I don't have a problem with anyone who's on the Stu train and whatnot. But I'm just saying, me personally, I'm just not. I don't buy the theories. I don't think he's coming back, and I just don't buy it. And I don't think he's leading a whole cult of killers, and he's doing all that stuff. Like, I don't think anything of that. And like I've already explained why in one of my previous videos before, but like, I just in general, Ghostface, Stu. Here's the thing about Stu, and why I don't think he's. I'm gonna kind of like reiterate some of the stuff I had already said in that video where I was talking about why I don't want Stu back. So, Stu basically, fans are trying to say like, oh yeah, he was. He's behind these new murders and he's leading a cult. And he's coming back for Scream 7 or this or Scream 6, whatever. And but here's the thing though, is that like, why would this is what doesn't make sense to me, is that why would Stu randomly start a cult now all of a sudden and try to target Sidney Gale, and then from what they're saying, he killed Dewey in 5. Why would he all of a sudden, like, why would he barely try to do this stuff now? Like, you're telling me Stu had the opportunity to try to kill Sidney Gale and Dewey like so many times, and he had the opportunity to try to do it and he never did. But now all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, let me try to target Sidney, Gale, and Dewey. Oh, I killed Dewey, so now let me try to kill Sidney and Gale. Like, what? Like, now he all of a sudden is trying to kill the main. He was trying to kill the main 3, the trio. Like, that just makes no sense to me. Like, it really doesn't, and it doesn't make sense why he would randomly start a cult now when he could have done that a long time ago too. He could have, if he really wanted Sidney, Gale, and Dewey dead, he could have tried to kill them a long time ago. If he really wanted to do a whole cult thing, he could have done that a long time ago too. Like, why is he all of a sudden barely now he's trying to start a whole cult and he's trying to kill Dewey, Sydney, and Gale, and like it just makes no sense. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. And like, how would he have known who Sam and Tara are, and why would he be trying to target them all the way from New York? Like, it just makes no sense. Like, and what vendetta does he have against them? Like I'm sure he doesn't even really know who they are, and how would he have even found out who they are in the first place? Like, it just does, none of that makes sense to me. So that's why I just don't buy into these Stu theories. Like, literally, yeah, somehow Stu found out they were all the way in New York, and after like what 1 or 2 years go by, he's gonna try to target Sam and Tara again. Like, what if he really wanted them dead? He could be, immediately trying to go after Sam and Tara. After the events of Scream 5, he could have immediately tried to kill them, and then, like, but what, you're telling me 1 or 2 years later he's gonna try to target them or send cult other Ghostface killers that are part of his cult to go after them after like 1-2 years later, after the events of Scream 5? Like, why is he waiting so many years apart to try to target them again? Like, it just makes no sense. And especially if he was really trying to kill, like I said, if he was really trying to kill Sydney, Dewey, and Gale for the longest time, he could have done that a long time ago. And you're telling me barely now he's trying to do that? He could have done that in Scream 4 even, like he could have tried to do that in Scream 4. 11 years go by, and you're telling me now all of a sudden he was trying to he was like, let me try to kill Dewey, Sydney, and Gale. Oh, I successfully killed Dewey, so now let me kill Sydney and Gale now. Like, when he could have done that a long time ago. 11 years had passed by from Scream 4, and he could have tried to do it then too, or even Scream 3 or 2. 26 years went by, like he had so many opportunities to try to kill Sydney, Dewey, and Gale, but he didn't. But you're trying to, like, I just don't buy into the fact that now all of a sudden he's trying to kill them. And like, it just, especially knowing that Sam and Tara are the new main characters and not Sydney anymore, like, it doesn't make sense why he would, like, how would he even know who Sam and Tara is, and why would he even want to target them in the first place? Like, yes, you can try to use the whole thing of like, oh yeah, what if he's trying to target Sam specifically because she's Billy's daughter and whatnot, and like, what if he didn't like Billy and he's trying to kill Sam because that she's related to him, or what if he's trying to groom her and whatnot, and he's trying to get her to join him or something. I just don't, that doesn't make sense. Like, it just, like, why would why couldn't, like I said, why couldn't Stu found out that Billy had a daughter a long time ago? For the longest time, Stu would have never known that. And then now somehow he barely found out until recently, and then tries to target her. And if he really doesn't want her dead, why the hell is he sending Ghostface killers after her? If he's trying to groom her and trying to get him to join him, why the hell is he like just sending Ghostface killers after her, and trying to like get them to kill her? Like, that just makes no sense. Same with Tara. He's trying to get her to kill her too. Tara, I'm pretty sure, like I said, he doesn't even know who Sam and Tara is, and why would he want to even kill Tara in the first place? Like she's just a random, pretty much, to him. And like, it's like, if he really wanted, if Stu is trying to get Sam to be on his team, like, he wouldn't be trying to send killers after her to kill her, or he wouldn't be trying to kill her himself, because somehow he's just walking around freely. Like, fans are trying to say he's just walking around freely in the open and is just killing everyone. He killed Dewey, and now he's gonna be in New York in this costume right here in this picture, and he's just going around killing everyone in New York. He's just walking around freely doing everything, and has just been somehow non-existent to the world for like 26 years. No one knows where he is, where he disappeared to, but he's just been scot-free this whole time. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And if he's in prison, how would he be getting, like, he's like, what, he's all of a sudden he's just leading a whole cult in prison. Like, the thing is too is that was originally supposed to be the plan for Scream 3. And even then, I feel like the idea just seems a little weird. But I've said before too, in general, that either way though, I think it still would have made sense to bring him back in Scream 3. But now that we're so far into the franchise, it's like, bro, like it doesn't make sense. You're gonna have to probably have a whole movie trying to explain. Like, if they were to bring him back, let's just say in Scream 6 they bring him back, right? They're gonna have to give so many clues and hints, and give so much backstory in the movie to explain where he's been, how he survived, and what he's been doing and whatnot. Like, they're gonna have to explain a lot of stuff, and that's gonna go into, like, basically almost half of the movie for Scream 6, of just clues and hints and backstory to everything. And that's just like, bro, like, what? Like, you're like, it's just like, it's gonna take a lot of time to just try to, like, explain the stuff. And same with Scream 7. If they make a Scream 7, it's gonna be the same thing. Regardless of what movie they would bring them back in, it still wouldn't really make sense. Like, why he would even be, like, why he would be, like, where they would have to explain everything pretty much, and it would just take so much time and of the movie. And I feel like it just, I don't know, I'm not saying that they can't possibly think of something good that makes sense to bring them back, but I just don't really think it's just necessary though. I just think it's gonna be such a waste of time. At least in my opinion, I just don't like, I just want to see this franchise move in a new direction. Like, I just don't really understand. Like, what, like, because a lot of fans, like, they say they want to move on from the past, and they want to try new things and whatnot. But isn't bringing back a past killer and tying them into this new story, going back to the past still, and harping onto the original as well? I mean, I feel like that's just, like, and I'm not aiming that towards all the fans who want Stu back, but I'm just aiming at some fans who say that. Specifically the fans who say that they want new things for this franchise. They want to see this franchise go in a new direction. I'm aiming that, that those thoughts to those fans who say that. Like, the fans who say, like, oh yeah, I want to see new things for this franchise, and I want to see them go into a new direction and not harp onto the past anymore. Not, just bring up the past so much. But yet, at the same time, you want to bring back a past killer and try to tie him into this new story of Sam and Tara, who he has no connection to. And, he's just like what? Like, it just doesn't really make sense. Like, but yeah, I'm not aiming that towards all the fans, all the Stu fans who want him back. Mainly, specifically, just towards the fans who say that. Like, you can't really say you want new things and you want to see this franchise move into a new direction, but then also say, oh yeah, let's bring it back a past killer and try to, tie him into this new story and whatnot. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah, and just in general, like, and because even fans try to say like, because even if let's just say Stu doesn't want to make Sam be on his team, he's just trying to kill her. What reason would he have? Like, because you could make the statement like, oh yeah, what if he actually hated Billy and he's gonna try to take revenge on Billy's daughter because he hated Billy and he's gonna try to kill her. And he's gonna try to target her. But the thing is that like, if the thing is though is that like, I don't know though, because I'm not sure if I really buy into that theory that Stu actually hated Billy. Like maybe he felt kind of, maybe controlled by him. Like he probably felt like Billy was kind of a douchebag sometimes, but I doubt that he had like a pure hatred towards him. Because I mean, the dude was working with him, and he was having fun killing everyone in the original Scream, and he was just killing for fun too. Stu had no motive, and he was really just going on this whole killing spree for fun, and he thought Billy was too. So that's why he decided to kill with Billy and be his partner. So it doesn't really seem like Stu had outright hatred for Billy. So I doubt he would try to take, revenge on Sam for what Billy did to him like 26 years ago. Like I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't really buy that. And just in general, like, I just don't really see why he would even, want to kill Sam. Like, Sam didn't do anything to him. She's Billy's daughter, but like, what did he? She didn't do anything to him. You know. I just don't buy that. And like, how would he have even found out that Sam is Billy's daughter? How would he have found that out? You can try to say that, oh yeah, he was working. Richie and Amber were part of his whole cult thing, and they told him about it. But like I said, bro, why would Stu randomly start a cult now after all of these years? Why would he randomly do that now? He could have done that a long time ago and tried to send killers after Sidney, Gale, and Dewey, who I'm pretty sure aren't even his like main targets, even in general, because like he was just trying to kill for fun. Like I said, Stu had no motive, so he was trying to kill for fun. So therefore, he wouldn't have a specific type of revenge vendetta against Sidney, Dewey, and Gale. If anything, he would just be trying to kill them for fun. But if he really wanted them dead, though, he could have done that a long time ago, and he wouldn't wait like 26 years to try to kill them. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, now all of a sudden he's going to try to kill Sidney, Dewey, and Gale, and he killed Dewey, and now he's going to try to kill Sidney and Gale, and he's all of a sudden now he's starting a whole cult too as well. Like, he could have done all this stuff a long time ago, and you're telling me he's barely doing it now? And if you try to say, oh, but what if he's been the mastermind behind everything from the previous movies too? But the thing is that you can't necessarily say that for Roman, because Roman, he was literally working by himself. He was like sort of the mastermind behind everything, even though he was kind of a retcon, but still, he was kind of like the mastermind behind everything. And Roman didn't even really know who Stu was. And Roman had only told Billy to get a partner because in case Billy got caught and needed someone to frame. And that's why he got Stu that's why he told Billy to get someone as his partner. Technically, Billy could have got anyone as his partner. But he got Stu. And, that's just why it ended up that way. Roman had told Billy to get a partner in case you get caught and need someone to frame. Billy could have chose anyone as his partner. Like literally. But yeah, and it doesn't even seem like Roman even knew who Stu was. And he wasn't, and Roman, in fact, told Billy He basically had Billy handle his work. So I'm sure he didn't even meet Billy and Stu and have a whole discussion over everything, or like they were working together or something. Like I just don't buy that. And so Roman had his own motive and his revenge thing against Sydney, and was doing his own thing. So I doubt he would be connected to Scream 3 and Roman and whatnot. Same with Scream 2 with Mickey, Mrs. Loomis. I doubt he would be connected to Jill and Charlie, because Jill, she even said it herself. She wanted to be the sole survivor. She didn't care about having a partner. She betrayed Charlie, and she just wanted to get fame. If you were to go back to try to make Stu connected to Scream 4 or even 5 or and 3 or 2, you would be retconning so much stuff of all these movies just to try to make Stu somehow involved into all these previous movies and try to say, oh, he was involved with these killers. Like, it just doesn't you would be retconning so much stuff, and it just seems so unnecessary to me. Like, they just like Roman had his own thing. Jill and Charlie had their own thing. Mickey and Mrs. Loomis had their own thing. Same with Richie and Amber. Like, it would make no sense for why he would be connected to anything that from these previous movies. You know? It just doesn't make sense. You're basically gonna try to retcon stuff. And like, why? You know? Like, why? And like, yes, like I said, they were originally gonna bring Stu back for Scream 3, but then Roman ended up becoming this so-called mastermind, and he ended up being a retcon himself. I know that, but still, at the end of the day, the things were done, the things were placed, and everything has been wrapped up for like years now. There's no need to try to go back 20 years in the franchise, or 11 years from Scream 4, and then, from Scream 5, and try to retcon stuff. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It makes basically the whole plan and motives of these previous killers in this franchise pointless if you try to connect Stu somehow being involved with them. Like, it really does. And it ruins the whole story of this whole franchise in general. So that's why I feel like that's another reason why we should move on from the past. Because it's like, you don't need to be retconning stuff from the past. We're trying to move forward into a new direction. And I feel like it just, bringing Stu back it would just ruin a lot of that stuff. And, like I said, in general, how would Stu have even known that freaking Sam and Tara were in New York? Why would he be trying to go all the way to New York just to try to target them? Like, if he really wanted to kill them that badly, he could have easily done that immediately after the events of Scream 5, and he wouldn't just wait another year or two to try to target them again once they leave to another city. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't. And I just in general, I don't think Stu is coming back. And like I said, this mask, this old worn out mask, could literally be any previous killer's mask. It doesn't necessarily have to be Stu's. It could literally be any previous killer's mask. Literally. It could be Mickey's. It could be Roman's, which I theorized before, especially because of this shotgun picture. I remember when this shotgun picture had released, originally I had said this was Roman's because you also saw bullet holes in the robe. But then now I'm starting to backtrack on that, because in this picture, you don't see bullet holes in the robe, but you do see the old worn out same mask from that picture. So I'm thinking Ghostface has a bulletproof vest, and this was before. So I'm assuming this is not Roman's robe, and maybe the newer killers in this movie do not steal the robes from the previous killers. Maybe it's just a mask, and maybe one of them has a bulletproof vest, and they had their own vest on, and they haven't gotten shot yet, so that's why they don't have bullet holes. Maybe, like, I feel like that's most likely the case here. I was thinking, that it was Roman's robe, and that's why it had bullet holes. But I'm starting to kind of, think that Nah, like I'm starting to think that the newer killers in this movie, they're just gonna probably steal the mask. They're gonna have bulletproof vest, and that's all it is. So, cause like I said, if it was Roman's robe, the in this picture right here, I feel like the robe wouldn't it have already had bullets in the vest in the robe? Wouldn't there be bullet holes in the robe already if it was Roman's robe? You know, unless they're just switching out robes or something, and the killers in this movie are switching out robes and they have different vests and they're just switching out vests and robes. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. Like if they're switching out bulletproof vests or they're switching out the robes, then maybe like you can try to say like maybe one of the killers was wearing Roman's robe from Scream 3 and it had the whole bullet holes and stuff. But and then maybe he switched that robe to a newer robe and he like just gave that bullet hole robe that was Roman's to someone else. And now someone else is wearing it. But I don't know. I just think that most likely the case is like I don't think they're switching robes. I think they're just switching. I feel like most likely the killers in this movie are switching out the mask. Like they're gonna be, like let's just say, like I said, there's 4 killers. They go to the museum, they steal them, and they go to the museum, they steal them, they steal all the masks, and then throughout the movie, we see different masks from the previous killers in this franchise, and these newer killers are wearing them, and these newer killers end up switching them with each other throughout the movie. So then they all end up wearing, different masks with each other. They're all just wearing different kinds of masks and whatnot. And so like, what if the killer in this picture with the shotgun, what if this is a different killer and he ends up giving the old worn out mask to someone else, and that's why they don't have bullet holes in the robe, because they're now they have the mask. This killer has the mask because it was given to them by this killer with the shotgun. So they're 2 different killers exchanging their mask to each other, and now this killer has the old worn out mask, and his robe doesn't have bullet holes because he never got shot to begin with. So if that's the case, then it would make sense. But yeah, I don't think they're switching robes. They're most likely just gonna switch masks. They're gonna be switching from old worn out mask to the clean smooth white mask. And then we're gonna just be seeing different previous killers' masks in general, and the newer killers are gonna be wearing them. And yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be. And I think that it makes sense that that's the case here. I think they're gonna be they're all just gonna be trading robes throughout not robes. The newer killers in this movie are gonna be trading masks with each other. So at some point we're gonna see a killer. One of the killers have the clean mask, and then the other one will have the old worn out mask, and then the one who has the old worn out mask will give it to someone else. And then they're just gonna be trading previous killers' masks that they stole from the museum with each other, basically. And maybe they're even trading. They're trading bulletproof vests as well. Maybe after they got shot a few times, maybe this killer who got shot here he probably had he changed his vest and put on a different robe, or he put on a different bulletproof vest on, like that's possible. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. Because I'm starting to think that's probably the case. Like maybe it is the same killer in this picture, and in this picture as well. Maybe they're both the same killer and they just change robes. So, and that's why this one doesn't have bullet holes, but this one does. But they both have the old worn out mask. Because, it is possibly the same killer, but they, they're wearing a different robe. So that's why it doesn't have bullet holes. But they're also still wearing a vest underneath. But you can't really see it because it's a new robe that's blocking it. So you can't really see the bullet holes from the vest. So I think, that's possible as well. And, I think all the killers, the new killers in this movie, like, whether there's 3 killers, 4 killers, 5 killers, I don't want a whole cult, like I said, because I just feel like that's going to be too much. But 3, 4, 5 the most, right? Like, if there's that many killers, like 4 killers, for example, they would all, what if they're all wearing bulletproof vests? And they could be all wearing bulletproof vests. But yeah, I think this mask is going to play a big part of this movie in terms of them trying to make it like a whole group type of thing, not a whole cult, Ghostface killer type thing, but more so just them making it like they're trying to give commentary on, how there's groups out there of killers and we don't know who the real one is, and they're all wearing these masks, and like we in the real world, like we wouldn't know who the real killer is because there could be groups of them wearing these masks of the Ghostface costume, and we wouldn't know who the real one is. They could have commentary on that, and also have commentary on the fact that there's also fans out there who are just crazy, and they obsess with real life killers and kind of have commentary on true crime and stuff, and how there's those out there in real life who obsess with real killers, and they could have a commentary on that and Scream 6, and like maybe these newer killers have the obsession with the previous killers in this franchise, and not necessarily just the stab movies, but just the killers in general and all the killings they have done, and they want to be just like them. These newer killers want to be just like them, and they can have a commentary on that, but like how there's those out there that have an obsession with true crime and stuff. They can have commentary on stuff like that. And I think that's why this mask and all these previous killers masking are going to play a big part of the movie, because they're going to have a bunch of commentary on stuff like that. I don't know. It's just theorizing. I'm not, I know I'm not going with a typical theory of what almost every YouTuber is about, the whole stew thing, but I'm kind of trying to go in different directions, because there's multiple possibilities. It doesn't necessarily have to just be one thing. There's many theories that you can pitch here, so that's kind of how I look at it from that angle. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, this was a fun video. I finally got to make my video on this, bro. Finally. And let me know what you guys think. Like, the killer here we see here in the subway, they don't have gloves on. So they could just be a normal Halloween goer celebrating Halloween with the Ghostface costume. But what if they're actually the real killers as well, and they're part of this, and they're just trying to blend in with the crowd on the subway? Like that's just, I don't know. Anything's possible at this point. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I'm so glad I got to dive into all these theories finally and talk about everything that I wanted to talk about. And I'm glad I got to make this video. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.